Kevin Lee believes Jon Jones was paying tribute to him at the press conference for UFC 285. For the press conference for Kevin Lee and Michael Chiesa, Lee wore this, and Jon Jones wore this at the press conference with Ciryl Gane. Speaking to the Schmo, Kevin said it's hard to deny at this point. Me and Jon ain't never really got along too well, but I see he wore what I wore to the press conference. That was nice. That was a nice little shout out from the GOAT. So I'm going with Jon. Yeah, pound for pound, he's the best. He was at that, so he kind of liked it. I liked it too. That was nice. He gave me some homage. Paying homage. I respect it. Michael Bisping on the Believe You Me podcast discusses who should be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world between Jon Jones and Alexander Volkanovski.
To be honest, who cares about the pound for pound? It's an invisible thing. It's just an opinion-based thing. There's no belt. There's no trophy. But it is nice. I mean, I would have loved to have been able to claim that I was the pound for pound number one on the planet. I mean, what a beautiful thing that is. But yeah, he's seen the bigger picture. Jon Jones, in my opinion, is that man, you know. That's why when I heard that, I'm like, this guy, he's just awesome. You know, right before the fight, I did an interview with him on my YouTube channel. And in Australia, Rebecca was the camera woman in the background. She's doubling up these days. And he was just awesome. He's just such a great guy, you know, and we were talking about how it's changed his life and how he flew here to Perth on a private jet. You know what I mean? This is a guy that was working on building sites and stuff. Now he's flying private, you know. I mean, it's great. You know, he's such a solid, just still humble dude. He's a tremendous success. But of course, he's got a tough fight coming up.
Last week, Dillon Danis tweeted out that Logan Paul avoided boxing him to box Darren Till. In the tweet, Dillon took a dig at Darren, calling him 1-5. Darren recently responded to Dillon in an interview with the Mac Life. He said, "What's he on about, Dillon? I've never said one thing about him. His little gang, his little mates from like Connor. I know all his mates from Ireland. I know them all. I get along really well with them all. So what's he talking for? Like, I can't physically or mentally respond to the guy because he argues and trolls everyone. For me, why would I even get worked up about a guy like that who pulled out of a fight with KSI? Like, what am I going to gain from responding to Dillon Danis? Like, what, mate? What? Even with me last few losses, I consider myself a very good fighter. I wouldn't waste me time with a guy like that. What is that guy even about?" Colby Covington absolutely went off on UFC commentator Jon Anik today. It started with Bilal Muhammad going on the Anik and Florian podcast.
I'm just glad that people are starting to notice it now. I think people realize it, and like you said, even if you're not a fan, you have to respect the work I put in, the stuff that what I've gone through. I'm on an 8-fight winning streak. I won 12 of my last 13 fights, and it's not like I'm beating nobodies. I'm beating ranked guys. I have more ranked wins than the champion. I have more ranked wins than the former champion. That wasn't rematches. I have more ranked wins than all these guys, and I had the fourth longest winning streak in history of the welterweight division. And I'm not being mentioned in the title contention. When Dana comes out and says Kobe's next for sure, it just doesn't make any sense. And it just like, it was always we don't make fights after the fight. We don't do that after the fight. But where the hell did Kobe come from to jump the line in front of everybody when his last win was Masvidal, who's if we're talking about rankings, he's number 12. If we're talking about wins, he's lost 2 in a row, and he got knocked out before that fight against Usman, and Kobe still didn't finish him in that fight, and Kobe almost got finished in that fight by Masvidal. So, like, how does he just jump the line in front? Like, if it was Masvidal getting into that fight, I would understand. If it was even like, we'll wait and see what happens with Masvidal, because I understand the storyline there. I understand the business aspect of it and the 3 pieces of soda and why I would get skipped. And that's what I was more nervous about than anything, is if Leon wins, they're going to wait and see what happens with the Masvidal fight. And I could understand that. But then that would also give me the Kobe fight, which I've always wanted anyway. And to me, it makes sense anyway. I'll take that fight because just to punch him in his mouth. And because he's been running from us for so long. He didn't want to fight me in London when we were asking for that fight. And it was like, Dana could say this, we were trying to make these fights for Kobe, and they just fell through. It's not falling through on my end. We didn't ask for more money. We didn't ask for a higher rank, a higher paycheck. I'm not a Costa. I'm saying, let me fight the motherfucker for free. Let me fight it for what I'm getting paid right now. There's no negotiations on my end, and you guys are just saying no. So it just tells me that there's something bigger than this. And when I tweeted it at first, I was like, man, maybe. But now I'm starting to think about it. It makes sense. Like, let me see if this thing really does go to court. Let's see if Kobe and Masvidal's court case is canceled out, because that's like the only other way it would make sense for this fight to even happen. Like, yo, UFC doesn't want to look bad. They want Kobe to drop the charges on Masvidal because they're two of the biggest names in the company. And if they are negotiating with ESPN or whatever about the new TV deals, like, you don't want a trial case going on with your guys where the company looks like barbaric and stupid because you have two morons fighting each other outside of the cage when they just fought inside of the cage. But then these two morons are the ones that are getting the most shine. So it's like, what do you want? If you want to be a professional company, if you want to be like, show the fans that we're a real sport company, it's like the guy that's winning, the guy that's fighting, the guy that's putting it all on the line every day. And these young fighters that are coming up, it's like, now what do they think? It's like, so do we have to change the way we act? Do we have to change the way we do this? Do we have to change the way we do that? Because winning is not enough. And even a fan base, I think I still have a big enough fan base where I will be selling pay-per-views. I will be pushing a fight, selling the fight. There's not a lot of fighters that barely talk. I'm on social media. I have people that are behind me 100%. I have a country behind me. You saw me fight in Abu Dhabi. You saw the crowd of it, their reaction. And it's like, it really doesn't make any sense. My bad, I was going hard.
Colby responded to this in an interview with MMAfighting.com. Colby went on to say, "You wanted to my freaking balls in London, but then you want to go backstage and cheerlead for a racist." So he associates with racism and Bilal Muhammad. Jon Anik, dude, I don't want your kids to grow up without a dad. Just realize you live in Boca. I live in Miami, motherfucker. You're not too far from me. You better shut your mouth. Poke the bear, now the bear comes after you. So if you were wondering why Colby is claiming Bilal is racist, this tweet is why. Aaron Bronstetter tweeted, "Edwards on the welterweight picture. I think there's a storyline for the Masvidal fight. For the Colby fight, there's literally no storylines. He sat out for a year and then slid into a title shot. It's weird." Bilal replied he's white. Bilal deleted the tweet. Colby also responds to Leon Edwards saying that he would refuse to sign a contract to fight Colby. Here's what he had to say.
First off, to Leon, let me take off these glasses for this. Leon, this is the only piece of advice that I'm ever going to give you. Only, because next you're going to get your ass whooped. There's a saying that goes on, Leon, and shut your fumbling mouth, listen, open your freaking stupid ears, and listen to the advice I give. This is the only advice I'm going to give to you, Leon. You don't cross your boss, and you will learn the hard way. Remember that, Leon. That's the only advice I'm giving you. You don't cross your boss.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from y'all6969. It says, "A guy who was sucker punched by Masvidal versus another guy who was sucker punched by Masvidal." The second one says, "Can't wait for Izzy to react to Alex's reaction of him reacting to the fights, and then Alex reacting to Izzy reacting to Alex reacting to Izzy's reaction to the fights." Wow. And the final one says, "Man, Leon is going to mess around and find out how dirty the UFC gets when a champ says he's not going to fight someone." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.